Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community here on COD Zombies HQ. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today because this is probably the last major content update for Cold War Zombies we're ever going to get, with Treyarch making a bunch of fixes and changes and adding content into the game for the last time. So without further ado, let's kick things right off with our first story of the day. The latest major update for Cold War Zombies goes live tonight at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 p.m. Pacific Time, where this update is headlined by finally the addition of the Onslaught mode that was once exclusive to PlayStation, now on Xbox and on PC. If you guys are hearing about this for the first time, the Onslaught mode is basically a close quarters zombies mode where you've got to progress through rounds and take down elite zombies, where the entirety of the map is played on standard multiplayer maps. There is a total of 18 maps you can play regular Onslaught on. My personal favorite is a mode called Onslaught Containment, which is basically an even more close quarters version of Onslaught that you can play on maps like ICBM and Nuketown. There is honestly a lot of content jam-packed into this Onslaught mode. It sucks that it was exclusive to PlayStation for this long. I will say it got way more updates than I originally expected, and beyond that, guys, this is the mode that, along with Outbreak, inspired what we're getting in Vanguard Zombies. So I would recommend hopping into Onslaught, give it a try if you're on PC and Xbox, or if you haven't tried it on PlayStation, give it a try for the first time before hopping into Vanguard, just so you can see what that close quarters action will be like. But next up, honestly guys, I didn't think Treyarch would actually release this feature. They talked about it on Twitter about possibly doing something like this, but they finally implemented it, where specifically for round-based maps, Treyarch says that the Rampage Inducer effects now last until round 55, whereas previously it ended at round 20. Players were asking for the effects of the Rampage Inducer to be extended beyond round 20 to keep up that constant crazy action in Cold War. Treyarch has now delivered it in probably their final update for Cold War Zombies. The Rampage Inducer does make things significantly harder within the Zombies mode. Cold War Zombies being as kind of easy as it is, it definitely ramps up the challenge. But along with the change to how long you can have the Rampage Inducer on for, Treyarch actually balanced the Rampage Inducer itself, saying this: they've adjusted the chance to spawn Super Sprinter zombies based on community feedback. Super Sprinter spawn rate now begins at only 20%, where originally half the zombies were Super Sprinters off the bat, and now it increases by 5% every 5 rounds while Rampage Inducer is active, with a 25% of spawning Super Sprinters at rounds 5 to 9, 30% at rounds 10 to 14, and so on and so forth. Both how quickly these Super Sprinters move and how quickly their attack animations are make them pretty hard to deal with in early rounds, especially when you don't have a perk like Stamina to actually get away from them. So this is honestly a very smart balance change. It'll make the beginning Rampage Inducer rounds a little bit more manageable. All the zombies will still be sprinting, just less of them will be Super Sprinters. A very good change from Treyarch, big ups to them. But also on a big ups to Treyarch for this change that, again, that honestly I didn't think Treyarch would ever address or talk about. But if you guys remember, several months ago, we talked about that on Firebase Z, if you had 3 or 4 players in your game, the Orda boss zombie that spawns in during the defense round would basically be unkillable. You cannot take it down. The health was way out of whack compared with the damage you can do to it. Treyarch has finally addressed it, saying they've addressed an issue in Firebase Z where the Orda was unintentionally difficult to take down during assault waves from rounds 30 onwards in 3 and 4 player games. Honestly, if they didn't address it a few months ago, I thought they'd never address it again, but I guess somebody at Treyarch finally got around to making the fix, and a good fix it is. Next up, Treyarch says they've addressed an issue where players could lose control of the ArcXD ScoreStreak when driving near the underground facility entrance doors on Die Maschine, where I assume before the ArcXD would just instantly go boom, you'd lose control of it. You can now actually drive it underground without worrying of that happening to you. Also in this update, Treyarch is looking to fix and patch a whole bunch of exploits that players have found within the game, saying that they've closed exploits that allow players to reach unintended locations in Die Maschine, Firebase Z, and Mauer der Toten. Beyond that, not wanting to leave the DLC 4 map left out, they said that they closed various zombies pathing exploits in Forsaken. So a big round of fixes for glitch spots on the map, but again, knowing the zombies community, new ones will always be found in the future. Next up, if you've still been having crashing troubles on Forsaken, or even while doing the main Easter egg on that map, Treyarch should have you covered here, saying that they've addressed various stability issues in Forsaken related to the arcade games, the main quest, and the Chrysalax Wonder Weapon. And beyond that, there were certain things removed from various points in the Zombies mode that shouldn't have been removed, that Treyarch is now attempting to fix with this update. The first is in regards to audio, where they say that they've addressed a certain issue where audio was missing during the exfil scene in Forsaken. So we don't exactly know whether that's the music or it's supposed to be the dialogue from Raptor 1, but either way, now you should be hearing what you're originally supposed to hear when exfilling in Forsaken. And this next one is actually just hilarious, where it actually has to do with an ending cutscene, specifically the ending cutscene for Firebase Z, where they say that they've addressed an issue where Kravchenko's knife was missing during the Firebase Z ending cutscene. For whatever reason, the model for the knife just wouldn't spawn in, and Kravchenko would look a lot less menacing in that cutscene. As a result, that has since been fixed, and poor Dr. Peck has to pay for it. Next up, if you guys remember, prior to a patch not that long ago, players were spawning in with 1,000 points in the regular round-based zombies maps. Treyarch then changed that back to the traditional 500 starting points, but they didn't change it for players starting the Outbreak mode, where previously they were still earning 500 points. Treyarch now says that they'll earn the proper 1,000 points when starting a game in the Outbreak mode. So originally the two modes flip-flopped their starting points, now they've finally been reverted. Next up, in a very good change to the mystery box, weapons from Season 4 and 5 can now be acquired from the mystery box. So if you're looking to pull a specific DLC weapon that you maybe want to rank up, or just haven't got a chance to getting around to the challenge to unlocking it, you can now hit the mystery box in hopes of getting that weapon, but they don't only spawn from the mystery box now. Treyarch is now also saying that weapons from Season 4 and 5 can now be acquired as possible rewards from the Trials machine, where it's possible to give you a pack-a-punched version of a DLC weapon when you complete a trial to epic or legendary rarity. Next up, I'm not exactly sure what Treyarch is referring to here, but they say that they've addressed an issue where Chalices were being incorrectly rewarded in limited time modes. Chalices pack-a-punch your weapon for free. Not sure what limited time modes they're talking about here, but whatever it is, it won't be as easy to pack-a-punch your weapon after this patch update. However, I have seen some comments from you guys that say, hey, I can't for whatever reason access online. I still don't have access to PhD Slider in Forsaken. Why is this, and when can I actually get a chance to use the new perk? Now is the answer to that, where Treyarch says that PhD Slider can now be purchased in offline local play, along with the new ScoreStreaks added with the DLC 4 update. Beyond all of that, Treyarch has actually added what is probably the final DLC weapon into the game, that being the Hammer and Sickle. You can unlock it via a challenge in multiplayer and zombies, and for whatever reason, if you didn't complete the Haunting challenges to unlock the Lapa SMG, a new zombies challenge is now available for you to do that in the future. For those of you out there that are zombies completionists that really like to go for all of the calling cards and challenges available that release every single season, first of all, I salute you, and finally for you guys, you will be rewarded. Where Treyarch is saying that for all you completionists out there, we're adding new 100%er challenge rewards for multiplayer, zombies, and campaign as an added bonus on top of all the XP you've earned along the way. Players will now be rewarded with new animated master calling cards when they complete 100% of all challenges in each mode, excluding Dark Ops challenges. So Dark Ops challenges don't count. If you see anybody rocking one of these 3 calling cards, you know that they've definitely put in their work into Cold War Zombies. Treyarch also wanted to address the whole of their DLC season here in Cold War and Cold War Zombies specifically, where they say this, addressing their DLC, talking to the Zombies community. They say, with Season 6 fully released and our next Zombies chapter just days away in Vanguard, we're proud to have provided the most diverse offering of zombies experiences in a Black Ops game to date over the past year, including 4 unique round-based maps, 8 Outbreak regions, 6 main quests, 23 Onslaught maps, Dead Ops Arcade 3, and a whole bunch of new zombies modes. I will say that it is definitely true that this is the most diverse set of zombies experiences Treyarch has ever offered, where there definitely is something for everybody within this DLC season. The fact that it has been entirely free is awesome. I do know a lot of you out there, and myself personally, wish there would have been at least 1, possibly 2 more unique round-based maps that they released throughout the DLC season, but unfortunately that wasn't to be, though I will say, happy with the 4 round-based maps we did get in the DLC season. Marauder Tone is my personal favorite, I'm not sure about you guys. All in all, wrapping up Cold War into one package, I will say, it's probably the most exciting zombies game I've personally played since Black Ops 3, and I think it'll still be a fun game to go back to and just rip some Rampage Inducer round-based zombies maps. But moving on to our next story, Treyarch is continuing to lay the groundwork for the future, saying that they hope you'll tune in for the debut of the Vanguard Zombies intro cinematic on the Call of Duty YouTube channel tomorrow. So yes, Darren Fang in the Vanguard Zombies mode will be getting an entire intro cinematic. A lot of it we've already seen as part of the reveal trailer, but now we get to see the full dialogue, which should continue to set up the story for the next year inside of the Vanguard Zombies mode. And hopefully, as rocky as Vanguard's launch may seem, I'm hoping it will be a good and exciting year for the Zombies mode. But that does wrap up the news today. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you did enjoy coming along this wild ride that we called Cold War Zombies along with me, I want to thank you so much, from D Machine to Firebase Z to Marauder Tone and Forsaken. I had an awesome time covering this game's zombies news with you. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in to the Zombies news update here on COD Zombies HQ. But I won't be going anywhere anytime soon, and I'll see you with the new Zombies news update tomorrow. But hold on, I'm not gonna end it there. This video needs a secret outro. So me and my buddy got the inkling hopping into a classic set of World at War Verruckt last night using the MP40 strap. My buddy was supposed to be watching the back window, I'm watching the front, when all of a sudden he lets me know the back window has been breached, and I turn around to see this coming at me, switch to the Browning, and this is something that you can only stay alive in World at War. If this was Black Ops or Black Ops 3 Zombies version of Verruckt, I would have been Gonzo Alonzo, down for the count, no revival on Bleeding Out. But because this is WoW, you can use the jump shooting strats to try to get away from the rest of the zombie. The reserve bouncing Betties played a huge part, and I somehow managed to survive. First time in a while does remind you of how far the Zombies mode has come, but it also makes you appreciate just how strong of a beginning that the Zombies mode had from the start. Verruckt is still a lot of fun, even over a decade later. If you've made it to this point in the secret outro, thank you for watching. Let me know your craziest zombie survival story down in the comments. I'll be reading through them all, but I'll see you with another Zombies video tomorrow. Until then, peace!